Ryan, I got a piece of advice for you when you become a newlywed. I realize it got delayed a bit, but let me offer a little bit of advice from the veteran here. Some
What you got?
worldly wisdom. There's nothing your wife likes more on your wedding anniversary than you downstairs recording a podcast, eating cheesecake, while she is upstairs alone painting a bedroom.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, they like that a lot. You should one just a little piece of advice from the expert. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to conclude our 2020 Game of the Year.
Thank God.
Ordinarily, we would be doing a top 10 for this event. However, due to the lack thereof games played by the bulk of this group, we were only going to do a top 8.
So that way we didn't have like a top 1 or 2 that were just wasted.
Yeah. For the record, my number 10 is Doom Eternal. My number 9 is Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I'm not going to fuck around and dwell on. But Ryan, if you want to, does anyone else have any 9 or 10?
Nope.
I do.
Mine, say it.
My 9, I'm going to throw to Fall Guys.
Yeah, Fall Guys pretty good.
I would have played that game way more if it was more accessible.
Ryan, want to start us off with your number 8 Game of the Year?
My number 8 Game of the Year is Hot Shots Racing.
Just racing, yeah, that's a fun game.
Good game. I like the art style, kind of like a nicer looking Daytona USA. Plays really well. I like those arcadey racer thingies, and it's just fun. It's a nice, simple, fun, good little time.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that, and I looked at a video of it and I was immediately super enamored with it because I'm a huge fan of the like low poly, really high frame rate aesthetic.
Yeah.
And then found out like 2 days later that it was on Game Pass, and we
and then we
it.
did like a night of goof around in Hot Shots.
Yeah, that's a fun game. Like it is a simple game, but I think it nails its one little thing really, really well.
That
Yeah, you don't need to
mode was
overcomplicate it.
weird.
Yeah,
What was weird?
the cop mode.
Yeah, you can't. Not everyone can be Hot Pursuit.
Yeah, but
Not
that being
everybody
said,
can hate Nier.
that game had a whole bunch of people playing online, which Hot Pursuit cannot boast.
That's true. Dash, what is your number 8?
My number 8 is one Call of Duty Warzone. I know I talked a decent game on this during the biggest surprise category, but I truly love Call of Duty Warzone. Like, I think it's absolutely remarkable what that studio managed to do with the Battle Royale formula. Just truly, they have such a masterful grasp on what that needs to be in the ebb and flow of a match. It's free to play, which is dope as fuck. It has a battle pass, but everything has a battle pass nowadays. It's only got the one map, but they've continued to update it kind of more Fortnite style of making like little changes, adding things, like opening up the stadium. Yeah, I think it's dope as hell, and I am like it's. I have not been the one who's had the issue kind of getting on and playing solo on these battle royales, but even if people aren't available to play, I'll hop on and just bang out a few games. It's fantastic. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Mr. Matt.
Well, on my list for number 8, I put Maneater, I guess.
Maneater, I guess.
I mean,
Love
it was what I played of it was fun, but I'm pretty sure I got most of the experience.
I think that Maneater is a really good PS Plus game.
It is a very good PS Plus game, and I'm glad that I did not pay a dime for it.
I bought it for $10 before it went to PS Plus, and I don't regret it at all. I think that game's worth about $10.
Well, I mean,
but not. It's a really good PS Plus title.
It's good for like 45 minutes.
Yeah, about an hour or two.
What a 45 minutes it's been.
Yeah, I tell you what. Jason, what was your number 8 shark of the year?
My number 8 shark of the year was Astrobot. because that
Damn.
game was just I didn't play a lot of games this year. Let's make that very clear. I only had like 9 games I would call good. So this was my 8th.
Astro's
I
cool.
bet Dash was damning it because Astro's higher on his list.
It might be.
I'm sure we'll talk about it again.
Astrobot it's a really good $500 game.
Yeah, that's very true.
I want to play that game.
It's super cool. I really hope they do another one of, or I hope they continue the trend of really good Astrobot platformers.
Sony's just got to release some new peripheral for the PS5 so you can get another one.
They'll do it
PS5
for the
VR.
headset.
Fucking PS5
Ooh.
VR.
That would be cool as shit.
Hunter, lay a number 8 on me.
I only have 6.
Okay. Ryan, number 7
Damn,
on me.
all right.
Oh, we cut the list short this time, so we didn't have any wasted slots.
Wasn't short enough.
My number 7 was actually kind of a surprise. I thought the idea seemed neat, but I wasn't sure if it would actually be any good. And I played it, and it was good. I really liked Carto.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think that's a super neat little like indie thing that really stood out to me this year. Is just like it does a really good job of kind of like encapsulating why I originally liked indie games, and it's like you build a game around a neat idea that you have, and that's what it did. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, and I know I bounced off it fairly quickly, but I was really pleased I kind of got in and saw its thing.
Mhm.
And I didn't necessarily like super enjoy. I enjoyed doing the thing. I didn't enjoy doing what the game was, but I enjoyed the gimmick.
Right.
Find a way to work it into a battle royale, then maybe we'll talk.
Oh yeah, shift the map around.
Yeah. So my number 7 was a game that I saw previewed, and I was not particularly excited for it. And in the drought of early January games, in conjunction with the sale, I picked up The Pathless. And at the time, I was going to just try to burn through it really quickly to see if it hit any Game of the Year categories. And as I kind of played maybe an hour or so of it, I'm like, shit, actually, no, there's more to this game. I don't want to rush through this. Like, I want to give it the time it needs. And I ended up going through. I got the platinum trophy in it. I don't want to say like I completely 100%ed it. Like there's still more like little things I can do, but I got the platinum trophy and I hit all of the main big pieces of content. But it would be like 100%ing Breath of the Wild is technically getting all the Korok seeds, and I'm not going to do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
But the Pathless is super duper good. It's by the Abzu team. It is a very much a Breath of the Wild like game. It does a lot of things that Breath of the Wild doesn't do, and there's some stuff that Breath of the Wild does that it doesn't do, but it's very, very clearly inspired by it. Like the big open world, running around kind of everywhere, huge freedom of movement and like freedom of kind of completing your objectives in each little chunk of the map. I think the like 40 or $50 they're charging for it list price is a little bit steep, because it's
The Snowy Mountains.
It does have snowy mountains. Actually, it has some really good snowy mountains.
Get fucked, Jason.
But I 100%ed it in like 8 hours, and if I had wanted to casually play it, you could probably do it in about 4. So if you're one of those people who cares a lot about like gameplay time versus cost, maybe don't pay full price for it. But it's really, really pretty. Good showcase of a lot of the PS5 stuff, and I'll much like Abzu, I will recommend it till the end of my days. It just is a cool little thing. But with that, I'm going to.
I recommended it, but I haven't played it, and I'd very much like to.
Yeah, I thought it was on Xbox, or really other
I
platforms,
wish.
but it's PC, PS4, PS5 only.
Hopefully, timed exclusivity.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't do anything in particular that couldn't be done elsewhere. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Matt, if you could hit me with your number 7 that actually showed up at your house.
My number 7 that showed up at my house because I bought it digitally is Battle for Bikini Bottom. Because who doesn't like being SpongeBob?
It is one of the best licensed titles ever made.
It's a great game, and It's a great remaster.
We should have fucking had Most Baffling this year just to really give that props.
I mean, it's getting props right now. It's number 7.
When did that Ghostbusters remaster come out? Was that this year as well?
I think it was last year, but I mean,
Okay.
like 2019 last year, not 2020 last year. But honestly, I don't know.
That's another one of those just weird remasters. They're not it appears as though they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, but they're actually picking good games to remaster. It's kind of weird. I
know
like
that
it. I think they should keep
it's
doing
been on
that.
sale a few times.
Mm-hmm. Keep remastering lower profile but good games.
Time Splitters, baby, it's happening this year.
Time Splitters, please.
It's this year. They didn't
said
buy that
that
IP for no
THQ.
reason.
For years.
The year. Jason, please. What is your number 7?
My number 7 is the game that was my most anticipated game that just didn't pull me in like the previous, and it's Doom Eternal. I think it's good. I think it's a good game. I may eventually someday play
This
the rest of
disappointing
it.
game is better than Astrobot.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It's a real game. Astrobot took like 2 hours. Doom Eternal is functionally a better game. I just didn't get pulled into it. I know
The
that
levels
good,
are too fucking long.
I know that the good game is in there, and I'll find it someday. And if I played the whole thing, it could have been 3 or 4 spots higher on this list. But all of the things above it are games that I have put significantly more time into.
I think that compared to 2016, Doom Eternal has some really high highs, but also some really low lows. I'd still like to fuck around with that DLC, but I just didn't like it as much as 2016. Like, I
Yeah,
guess
I just-
2016 felt scrappier in a way that I really enjoyed, whereas
Yeah.
this, like, on paper and like mathematically is like the better game,
Yeah.
but I don't know, just something about it didn't enamor me as much.
A big thing specifically just with the way Doom plays, I feel like I'm sure I could turn it off and pop back into a level at some autosave point, but I can't do that. Like with Doom levels, I feel like I need to play the whole level in one sitting. And so many of those levels, if you're actually like looking for any of the like extra stuff to find, it's gonna take 2 hours.
Yeah, like the levels are like literally hour and a half each.
And so I
Yeah.
just so infrequently have a straight guaranteed 2 hour chunk to commit to booting up a game and playing a whole level that I only played like maybe 4 or 5 levels of it so far, and I enjoyed the entire thing. I just couldn't get myself to commit to it on a regular basis, where so many of the games on my list are like really good pick up and play games.
Like I don't have that problem getting back into levels, but like as I was playing Doom Eternal, I was mentally remarking like these levels are way too fucking long. It also made it
a tight 45 minutes.
It made it a bastard to go back and secret hunt also, because you would need to like play through a significant amount of the level to get back to some of the other.
Yeah, I hadn't even considered that. That
Like
would not
it
be
was
ideal.
it should be it should be like double the levels half time.
Yeah. Yeah, give me the same length game, just cut the levels to like 45-minute chunks and give me twice as many of them.
See, it's annoying.
And I
to
probably
secret
would have
hunt,
beaten the game by
but,
now.
Just get all the secrets in one run.
Then you're dealing with like 2.5 hour runs of the
Yeah.
level, and like
I wasn't
hour.
I wasn't even getting all of the secrets. I was just getting like some, and I was still taking 2 hours, and I wasn't even doing any of the like. I can't remember what like the extra things were called.
there's like the
like
gates.
the Slayer thing.
Yeah, Slayer
I
gates.
didn't do any of those, and it still was taking me that long.
Which is unfortunate.
I
'cause I think
skipped a lot of those
the
too.
Slayer gates, I think, are some of the best content in the game. Just like tight little, well-designed arenas, and getting to just go ape shit, and then is super duper
Yeah.
fun. And like I have my complaints about the Marauders still, but like I think that most of the demons, like I really like the additions, like the Pain Elementals, the just everything. Like I think that it's largely good addition. Same with the weapons. I think doubling down on kind of like the combat triangle that it has for ammo, melee, grenades, etc. is super fun. Like I like playing it, but
Yeah, like I enjoyed all of the gameplay that I have played. It was strictly the time commitment that I just like. I don't want to boot it up at 9 p.m. on a weeknight, knowing that the level's going to take me to 11 or later.
Yeah, I could see that.
still want to play that DLC.
I'll play the rest of it.
I'm
someday,
afraid of that
maybe.
DLC.
We'll see what happens. If it
Ryan,
goes, if it
what's
goes
your
on like a
number
meaningful
6?
sale, I'll fuck with it. Yeah, Hunter, what's your number 6?
No, I said Ryan because
I know.
7.
I know what you fucking
Silly
said.
Billy. He's trying to skip around.
So
Ryan, what's your
sorry,
number
what are
6?
we at?
No,
6.
6.
Are we at 6?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was 7.
Did you not do your 7?
No, I did my 7. Is it my number 6?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Yeah.
Hunter doesn't have
Oh.
a 7.
I thought Dash said Hunter, your number 6. I was like,
yeah.
sorry,
I
what's
just
happening?
because I just nothing. Just keep going.
We were talking about Doom Eternal for as long as it takes to beat one level in it.
I wish that's how long it took.
My number 6 is Tony Hawk. I really enjoy it. I think it's probably the best remaster. But I usually reserve some of the lower spots for good remasters I played. And this is still pretty high up than remasters usually make it on my games of the year. But it was good. It was 2 games in one. It's got all the music there. It's got all the levels. They smoothed some stuff out. Looks really nice. It's a Tony Hawk game. The best Tony Hawk game.
It is indeed a Tony Hawk game.
Mm-hmm. That's my number 6.
So my number 6 is Tony Hawk 1 and 2. I think it's a really good remaster, one of the best remasters.
You
but
forgot to put it on there, didn't you?
I typically reserve the lower half of my list to like the remasters just because it's older stuff. But they got all the music in there, and it's the best Tony Hawk games, and I think it's really good.
Well said.
Okay.
And that's my number 6.
My number 6 is Super Mario 3D All Stars.
Fuck, I was really hoping. I was really fucking hoping.
No, it made it higher on my list than that. But I didn't play a ton of games, new games this year. But I had a lot of fun with the bit of Super Mario that I did play, and I know that I'll come back to it at some point.
I also really like any of those games where all of us kind of hoard onto something all at the same time, and it just kind of dominates the chat for about a week. That's always very fun, and I feel like Mario was the game this year.
I mean, I think
No.
I mean, not
currently
as
it's
much as
something
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, that game.
For a month.
Yeah, like 6 weeks.
That shit's not in my top 10. I kind of forget about it a lot.
There's also a game I'm sure we will talk about later that is still currently dominating.
That's true.
I don't know. There's someone who has it who doesn't have it, so I didn't want to necessarily count.
But
it.
everybody bought Animal Crossing here.
But yeah, Mario is one of those where like usually when that happens, we're always talking about a new game, like discovering stuff. But this was just a week of us going like, man, Mario 64 fucking whips.
Yeah, it's like that shit's good.
Yeah.
Good
And
memories.
everyone's like, yeah, it
Mario
does.
Sunshine.
And
Like,
and then everyone agreed that Super Mario Sunshine's bad except Sean.
Fucking madman. And
I
like
still
again,
haven't played it,
I
so
know that
I
that
have
fucking
no
collection
opinion.
has gotten a lot of shit online, but I think it's fine. I
How
really
much did
think
it
like,
cost? Like $40?
60. I think it's 60.
Was it 60?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
20,
I'm
20
fine
bucks
with
each
it.
game.
I'm fine with whatever I paid for it. I'm fine with it.
It's like, yeah, they could have done more to it, but you could say that about fucking anything. But I was
Yeah.
pleased with the offerings.
Sure.
I think that's why people were mad is like in the landscape of your Crashes, your Tony Hawks, your
Yeah,
Spyros and stuff for like Nintendo, the people who do this stuff on a regular basis were just kind of like, oh yeah, Mario, here you go.
I think some kind of version where I could have given them $80 and then gotten a cartridge with 64 and Galaxy 1 on it would have been a lot better. But I guess I'll take what I got.
I mean, I'd happily give them $20 just for like Super Mario 64's castle and first 2 levels.
It's and like I know that like I think I specifically give that game a lot of shit just because it's kind of aged poorly, but like honestly, shit still slaps hard. Like I went for the fucking
You're right.
120 star run, and it's
Psycho.
it was nice getting to play it on the Switch with at least a steady 30 frames.
Mhm.
Like again, not to say there's not more you could have done to that port, but you
I don't
kind of
even
don't
do. I
need
want-
to.
I want it to look like it did when I played it when I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
I don't want it all fancied up.
It's like
And the Joy-Cons feel marginally better than holding an N64
Trident.
controller.
Like the thing that I hate seeing is like those people who will post like those Unreal tech demos on Twitter and the internet where they'll just like do this hyper realistic Mario. It's like,
They
oh
look
man,
like
like,
shit
like
every
look what
time.
this could look
Man.
what this could look like, and it's like, oh god, that looks like dog shit.
Like I don't want it. I don't want it to do that. I want it to be
don't-
weird and bumpy.
You don't want Mario in an empty field with some deer running around.
I don't get it. It's like they I give me like I admittedly I wish that they had Mario 64 at 60 frames a second. I would have loved that, but I also know what an N64 game code base is like, and if you look at it funny, it explodes. So
Yeah.
I
think,
wanted
like,
it
the only thing I
64
would've-
frames.
Yeah. I think the only thing I would have wanted out of those is better camera controls.
yeah, that would have
But
been
it's
nice.
like the way the cameras are so like, at least on the 64 and are like so programmed into the game and all that stuff, a whole bunch of different things. Like I just don't think it'd be possible to implement that in there.
That was part of the charm was bad camera angles.
And I don't know, like if it would have even
You
been
had to-
feasible,
you had
Always
to
like,
make it
was,
work.
always has been.
like I don't know if you could take that like Mario 64 DS and then like port it up to a console, or if that would even be that good. But I don't know. I'm pleased with that collection.
I like it.
It's a good time.
It's nice to hop in and play those and experience
Mario
those. And I think
64 is a good fucking game, as it turns
Yeah.
out.
it's a good price point and a good collection for people who've never played older Mario shit.
Still weird as fuck that they're delisting it end of March, but whatever.
Yeah.
Gotta be
Yeah.
able to tell the
Most
game
baffling.
digitally
There you go.
We're bringing that fucking category back.
Oh, for sure.
Should not have had
Jason.
it this year.
Well, that can be your most baffling of this year is that game gets delisted.
That's not even the most baffling thing that happened this year.
We're still.
We'll
in
see what happens when
January,
it
baby.
happens. Jason, what's your
number
number
six.
6?
My number 6 is Warzone. I think that game's really good. I think it would maybe have inched a little higher, except for I don't really like playing it by myself. So I haven't played it a ton. I mean, I've played it enough. It's probably the only battle royale I've played more than it still is probably PUBG. But I don't know. It's not. I'd rather just play like regular Call of Duty
Yeah,
online.
like
if
you
I'm playing
have
solo.
base Call of Duty, so
Yeah.
if you're hopping on to play, it'd almost be kind of silly not to just do TDM or something.
Yeah, like I'd rather just hop in
go
and play
see the
3 games
Lovingly
in a row
crafted
of
Ronald
Nuketown.
Reagan.
Yeah, tedium is right.
Hey, I
Boom.
like Call of Duty.
I like it.
like
I think
Call of Duty.
we've talked about it a lot. It is, in my opinion, the best battle royale, and I don't really think I need a new one anytime soon. I can just keep playing this one.
Yeah. Like I'm glad they didn't like break it off and then do like a new like a Warzone 2 with Black
Yeah.
Ops, and it's all just still the same shit. You can get
I'd like
access to
them-
Black Ops guns, but
I'd like them to do a new map, but I'm not really that picky about it.
yeah, like I think this map's really, really good, and them
No,
just
it's
kind of
crazy good.
like
I,
it
like,
is
I really liked when PUBG gave us the little map. So I'd like a little map for just like half as long games that are a little more hectic.
I think my fucking
I like-
fear is
I
that
like
they'll
getting
do another
spicy.
Miramar.
I mean, yeah, that was garbage, but
Like
I feel like they like at this point everyone understands that the island is the correct method. Like, don't do a desert that has just barriers
Oh,
on the edges.
yeah.
Like, I
And
don't
also
know, I
since
just-
Warzone maps are made up of Call of Duty maps.
Yeah. There's
Like
so much
it
they
was
can
it
work
was
with.
so cool when it was you, me, and Zane playing, I think, and we realized that we were inside of that one Call of Duty 4 map with like the shipping
Yeah.
containers. And we just kind of had that moment of like, oh shit, of like, wait, what? This is that fucking map. Like,
I think
That's-
that's
yeah.
such a cool idea too. I remember when they did that first, was it Black Ops 4 that had that, was
I
Blackout
think
or
so.
something like
Yeah,
that?
Blackout. That was the
Blackout.
I remember we were talking before, like, man, they should make one where they put like Call of Duty maps all around it. That'd be a cool thing. And then Activision was plugged into our computers or our cell phones or something, and then they made Warzone. And it turns out we did have a really good idea.
Yeah.
Nobody else thought of.
You're
That's
welcome,
true.
Activision.
But I think there's so many maps across all of the Call of Duty games that are really good. They could easily do that shit again with another giant one. Like, I mean, I would lose my mind if they made one that was just all of the Call of Duty 4 maps exclusively
my
mashed
issue.
together.
They burned a lot of them in Blackout because Blackout literally has Crash in it. Crash at Nuketown Island. Some other
Bandicoot?
spots.
We'll just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just pretend that game never existed.
Just import that fucking map. The map was fine, baby.
For a small map, they should just do it inside the stadium.
Just Rust
Hunter-
and
Hunt-
Shipment somehow into one map.
Hunter, what's your number one?
My number one battle royale is Fortnite. My number 6 is Wonderful 101 Remastered.
Hell yeah,
Kind of
dog.
because I needed to pad out this list a little bit. But
Sure.
Hunter's a big Wizards 101 guy.
it's
Yeah.
true. I play a Death Wizard because I'm edgy. But no, it's a good game. It's not trapped to the Switch anymore. Or Switch. Wii U.
Now it's trapped on the Switch, though.
And
I've
the PS4 and
I've
PC.
seen that like be $20 sometimes for the PlayStation version. I've been kind of tempted to pick it up just to have some more copies of that game on hand.
Just throw it at people as they walk by your
God, I
house.
just fucking
Something you
anything
can
to get people
actually-
to play it.
Yeah, now you can actually lend it out because you know more people who own PlayStations than Woos.
Yeah, but I mean, we've all got Switches, and I've got that Switch copy. It's Wonderful 101 is just so fantastic, though. I wish it was not like. I wish it was kind of like. I don't want that game to be more accessible, but I wish that game was a bit more accessible because it's a tough recommendation to people, but I still really like it.
When's the
You like
Wonderful
101 of
102?
things? Well, then I
What
have
if-
a game
Okay,
for
what
you.
if Pikmin was Devil May Cry? Huh?
I don't know
I
what
don't
either
know
of
what
those
those
are.
mean. Yeah.
Get out of my house. Leave
What
my
if what if you
alone.
could form a bunch of small dudes together to make one giant lady?
Now we're talking.
People are into giant ladies. I've been on Twitter lately.
I've played AI
Adam.
Dungeon.
That Resident Evil 8 demo was pretty dope, but it did kind of give me motion sickness. But also, there's a
That
big
wasn't-
lady in it.
That
Hey,
wasn't
titties
motion
be out?
sickness. You were just really scared.
Yeah, I was horny. had a fear boner. Ryan,
As we all
what is
do at
your
some point
number
through the
5?
day.
Number 5, top 5. My number 5, Burger King footless.
God damn it! I was gonna say number 15.
Ryan Rowland, tweet of the week.
My number 5 is Paper Mario and the Origami King. I think it's a good one of those games. I think it's like a kind of right in the middle of that newer style of Paper Mario and the older style. I don't know if it leans far enough into the classic style to please classic fans, but I've never played those, and I think this one's pretty good and pretty fun. And a lot of people who like the old one seem to agree. So, I mean, I recommend checking it out.
I'd love to borrow it.
It's got good music. I like the battle stuff. Like, I don't know. I think it's good. I think they're doing really creative things with the battle system that is separating it from Mario and Luigi, which I think they've been trying to do by just going completely off
By
the
not
fucking walls
making new
with
Mario and
stickers
Luigi
paint.
games.
Yeah,
Hey, what do you mean? They remade Bowser's Inside Story. That's
Exactly.
the same, right?
Yeah,
but yeah, it's really good. I think the Switch is a good place for it. They've been kind of, they did 3DS, they did Wii U, but I think console versions of it tend to go a little bit better. But yeah,
I also
good.
think that
I
game
like
just
it.
looks beautiful. Like those
Mhm.
newer Paper Mario games where they have like really heavy use of shadows, I think looks really, really nice on it.
They figure out a way to make everything look like it's small and made of paper or cardboard or whatever.
Cottage
like
core.
Yeah, it's really great.
Yeah,
Plus,
I'd really
we
like to
see
borrow
his
that from you.
arms.
I have not seen it go lower than like $45 online because I've been like willing to pick up a copy if I could see it cheap enough, but I
Mhm.
think I'd rather just borrow it from you. I need
I
to
should
do Luigi's
really-
Mansion.
Yeah, I should really finish it up. And Luigi's Mansion.
His arm's
I'm-
stretching to next week too.
Which I wish it hasn't been. I wish that was more of a thing in the game. You don't do it very often, but I just want to reach around and rip stuff.
You want to grab
Ryan wants to
Gary's?
reach around.
Yeah, I want to open up Amazon packaging, little corrugated stuff. Dash, what's your
appeals to the-
corrugated package?
So I guess I want to just kind of notate here at the kind of top 5 point, there is a massive like enjoyment gap between my like on my top 5 and my top 6 or my bottom 5. But the actual top 5 are all like narrowly close to each other. And if I randomized the top 5, I honestly would probably still be pretty happy with whatever way it displayed. So I kind of had to like really split hairs on an order for these, but I would just like to emphasize that I really, really like these next 5 and that I like them a whole lot more than my bottom 5.
I actually hate all of Dash's top 5, so that's
Same.
it out.
We
Works
all do.
out. But my number 5 is Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow.
I have since a wee lad dash in like 20 whenever the fuck Assassin's Creed 1 came out, I have been wanting them to make an
Like
Assassin's Creed
06,
set,
07.
something like that. I've always wanted them to choose to visit Field
Yeah,
Japan
07.
as a locale, and they absolutely fucking refused to do it. And lo and behold, Sucker Punch came about and gave me my Japanese Assassin's Creed game that I've always wanted. I like it in all of the exact same ways I like Assassin's Creed games. It does all the shit that I want it to do. I think that Ghost of Tsushima is just a fantastic open world game. And in an age when Ubisoft doesn't know how to make an Assassin's Creed game anymore, it was really refreshing to have another studio come in and say, no, we'll show you how this shit's done. I like all of the pretty much all of the dumb little side activities, which I specifically want to call out the hot springs and like meditating on shit. It is the corniest possible fucking thing, but it
Like
loops
looking at
all-
Jin's butt.
Yeah, he's got a fucking tight ass, that Jin, the tight
Cakes
honorable
on that
samurai
boy.
butt. But
Got a
it
Hank Hill ass.
it loops all the way back around to like just being super like endearing, and I actually like took it seriously every single time I did it. I'm just like, oh, I am gonna fucking reflect on my uncle, kind of this shit. But then I also had a similar experience with the entire haiku system, where this absolutely should be the lamest shit and not work, but I was thrilled every single time. And then doing a haiku right before the final boss, it just fucking like felt great to
It was
do.
good shit. I wish there were
Um,
more haikus, but maybe they were like side things that I just didn't see.
There's a ton of them. Like I probably did
I think you only
8 or 9.
I think you only end up doing like 2 in the main story.
I did quite a few of them. I know that. But I also was I didn't do any of the side quests, but I did a ton of the side like activities. I
Mhm.
love the thing where you're trying to cut the bamboo and you have to do like the really quick fucking button input to get more
Yeah.
health.
I would have done more of those if you like got more out of it, but it was like a lot of work for very low payoff.
Oh, see,
But
I
they were
actively
enjoyable.
enjoyed doing the mini game.
No, I enjoyed doing the mini game, but it was like you had to like ride really far to get to them, so it just seemed like a time sink. But I did like 2 or 3 of them, and they were fun, and I would have done more, but I was like, you had to do so many to get such a small amount. I don't even remember what you got for
I
them.
think you got health or focus.
You got focus out of
Yeah.
the bamboo, and you got like a
But
tick more health out of the
yeah,
hot
it was
springs.
like almost nothing. I did more hot springs because I stumbled across them a little more often.
Oh, see, I found myself seeking these out not for the gameplay benefits, but for I just want to reflect on some shit and I want to slice some fucking bamboo.
Yeah,
I
slicing
think
the bamboo was actually fun. Where like sitting on the hot springs wasn't as enjoyable, but I still
Yeah.
did those because
I like the hot
seemed
springs
worth it.
because sometimes it'll give you a choice like reflect on your code or you need a drink.
yeah, and you'll just fucking sit there and drink hot sake.
It's just
I
like
don't
think about food.
I don't normally go for those kind of like intrinsic rewards in games. I'm more of the like, no, give me something to make me play the game better, give me some stat upgrades. But I found specifically with the haikus, because they just give you a fucking headband that doesn't do shit for you. Like I was doing them because I wanted to do them.
Almost
Yeah.
all the headbands were fucking ugly too.
Yeah, it's like I wore fucking hats. Hats are cool. I wore the hat of that motherfucker I was going to kill until I killed him.
It was a Red Sox hat.
That's why you
And
killed him.
I think that the story
It was
is
a big offensive Native American headdress.
I think that the story is fairly like generic, like it's not reinventing the wheel with anything, but I do find it very enjoyable and well told and compelling, even though it's not doing anything new at all. But I liked it. I like Ghost of Tsushima a whole lot. I think it's a very easy recommendation to people because it is one of those like open world games. Like they're pretty easy to pick up and play. Any of the difficult, like I think that they had pretty good difficulty options where in addition to just like kind of tilting damage tables a little bit, it speeds up the animations of enemies. So I wasn't having that much fun playing on normal. It was a little too easy, but kicking up to hard makes enemies like just more aggressive, attack faster. So I have to be better about the parrying. And apparently the like hardest difficulty of it makes attacks kill you in one hit, but also your attacks kill enemies in one hit. So I would love to fuck around with that also. Apparently the online like multiplayer is really good, but I haven't done any of it. So
I didn't even realize it had multiplayer.
yeah, it has like full ass like loot game online with raids and missions and all sorts of shit.
I
Didn't
haven't
fuck with
played
it.
But anytime I would see a question mark on my map, I would go to it and be like, "Oh, here's a multiplayer thing. You want to do multiplayer?" I was like, "Fuck off."
Yeah, like I didn't touch it, but apparently
I
it's
didn't
good.
either.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, really, really, really fucking good. Absolutely. Oh yeah, and also it looks fucking beautiful. It is. I mean, it was my favorite visuals of the year. Absolutely fantastic game. Matt, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is a game that has been talked about a lot, even
Oh,
just
Ghost of
already
Tsushima.
today. It's Warzone.
Warzone fun.
It's a good game. Fun to play. Fun to play with your buds.
Now, what if you could
That's
in Warzone you
yeah.
could drag up on the touchpad and it would give you wind that sends you to enemies?
You know, that wouldn't be good because then everyone else could do it too.
What
Good
if
though.
in Warzone you would accidentally swipe left on the touchpad and pull out a flute and get stuck in a flute enemy for like 10 seconds? And you're like, "Why do I have a flute?"
I think it would make it better because you'd be walking around, all of a sudden you're like, "Is that a flute?"
Jin's
And you'd
working
run
on a
that way.
combined version of the
Somebody change the
Poke Rap that has
weather
all of the
around here.
Pokemon in it.
Yeah.
Jason, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Tony Hawk 1+2.
Can you
Sorry,
remember
go.
the whole thing Ryan said? Can you recite that?
Oh fuck!
Honestly, I was having
some-
trouble holding it in my head when he was going through it.
There was some good music that was all there. I don't remember what Ryan said.
Well said, Jason. Well said.
You have to do the pause at the end, though. That's a really critical part of it.
That was
Pause
good
at the end
shit.
because Dash is just staring daggers, trying to remember what you said. Just
Yes.
That was good shit. I never played those games growing up, so that was my first experience with Tony Hawk 1 and 2. For the most part, I probably like played them at a friend's house for 30 minutes at some point forever
Mhm.
ago.
Not a big Pizza
I
Hut
think
guy.
two still stands up as my favorite.
I
And then
bought a-
playing it remastered
Yeah.
reminded me why I like it so much.
I'm still a 3 guy, but I would play these remasters before I went back to 3.
I might give them $100 for a Thug remake.
Yeah.
I will happily fork over more money for them to remaster more Tony Hawk, but since they're
Oh,
working
yeah.
on Diablo 2 now, who knows?
Maybe it's all a trick.
I bought a
Is it-
PC copy
It's
of
gonna be Tony
Titular
Hawk Diablo
3
2.
at a book fair once.
Oh, really?
Because
Has
I saw it in the
anyone-
case. I was like, "Oh, this is a PlayStation game."
Nope. Has anyone told Activision and Blizzard more like Diablo 2 so we can have our Tony Hawk team back?
Hello, Mr. Kotick.
Yeah, let him know.
Yeah, no,
Mr.
yeah,
Psy.
no. I absolutely loved
Psychotic.
you in Moneyball. I thought you gave a great performance. Have you considered that it is more like Diablo 2? Oh, you have? Oh, okay.
That's why they're
Tony
doing
still
it.
did it.
I'll let them. Okay. Hey Ryan, I got sour news. They
what'd he
were
say?
aware.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, jeez.
Dang.
Well,
We'll get 'em next time.
Roasted live
If-
on the internet.
Maybe if they ever decide to do a Diablo 3, or God forbid a Diablo mobile.
Hello, Activision Blizzard. It's me, your cousin, Marvin Blizzard. Listen to this.
Hunter, what's your number 5?
That's Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. Because it's
That's
a
the-
fun.
That's the Wii one, right?
Yeah, it's the remake
Okay.
of the Wii one. Because it's a good game. It's a good remaster. I've said this before. It added cut content. And oh, hi kitty. And that's it. I got
So-
distracted by my cat and lost what I was gonna say.
You like Xenoblade though?
Yeah.
You would say that you're really feeling it.
I don't get it.
Okay.
See, I was
Ryan,
always confused with the name of that because on the cover of it, they have a sword in the ground.
Uh-huh.
But the game is called Xenoblade. I see it right on the cover.
No, it's in the ground. You can't see it.
Oh, yeah. See, you just see the hilt of it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like when an
okay.
You don't see no
ostrich buries
blade.
its head in the ground.
You
can't
see
see
no
it.
blade, but yes, you see hilt. Got it.
Mm.
You see no ostrich.
Ryan,
Yeah.
please give me your number 4
Please.
game of the year.
My number 4 is a sequel I had played the original once, and I absolutely hated it, even though it was at Dash's insistence that I try it out. And then with the second one coming out, I was like, you know what? This one actually looks pretty cool. And Dash said, no, this looks bad, and I hate it. And then he played it, and he loved it. But it's Risk of Rain 2. One of those. It's just really fun to play. I'm not huge on roguelikes, although, as we'll see later, more have made it onto my list. But they're just fun. I like the atmosphere. I think Risk of Rain 2 is really fun to play. I can kind of wrap my head around some of like the more like the minutia of a roguelike thing, like, you know, your synergy and all that stuff across your items and doing stuff like that. And it's just been fun to play with my buds, play with my dudes.
Risk of Rain 2 is dumb bitch hours 24/7, and I love it.
Oh yeah, dog.
So my number 4 is another open world game. As I do quite like those, and as good as the swordplay was in Ghost of Tsushima, this has quite a bit better content in it and a much better protagonist when compared to Jin. Number
Animal
4
Crossing?
is Spider-Man Miles Morales. I cannot believe that I essentially played 2 open world games back to back, and that this was the second of them, and I ended up coming out more positively about it than Ghost of Tsushima. I think that other Spider-Man was okay. It was a good game. Glad I played it. Glad I own it. Did a bit of the DLC, but like Miles Morales blows my fucking mind. How much more I like it compared to the original. Like, this is amazing. I think that Miles is insanely likable. I think that the additions they make to the combat with Miles's Venom powers, at least for the type of way I play that fucking game, makes it unbelievably more fun to just get in the center of shit, dodge everything, bust out the fucking powers, and just get crazy, huge, stupid combos going. It's fantastic shit. I think it's got really cool suits in it. Miles can wear Tim's. He does get a cat.
Deadass.
Once again, I think that the actual story of it is kind of generic, but a lot of the like character moments and character interactions in it are really where it shines. And I think that it's phenomenal on all fronts. It's a technical masterpiece. Looking beautiful. Its load times are still the go-to thing that I show people the loading times on the PS5 of just being able to cold boot that shit and get into gameplay so quickly. Absolutely amazing. And I would recommend Miles Morales to people who maybe still didn't even like that first Spider-Man, although I have not encountered too many people who are like that. But it's fantastic. Absolute must own. PS4, PS5, whatever. Just play it. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
With that, I'll send it over to Matt, as I think that Miles Morales is going to get talked about more later.
It will definitely probably get talked about more later. My number 4 is Animal Crossing. And I know that I've said this before. I have not played an Animal Crossing before this one. But I still, like everyone else that we talked to this year, put, 6 weeks or so into it, playing every single day. It was a great way to waste some time when I first started working from home and didn't have shit to do. And it was just a good way to, hang out with your bros and trade some fruits and
fucking watch shooting stars with my homies.
Stars. Yeah, fucking A. All stand on the hill and clap at the sky.
I don't remember who the first one of us was to get the fucking meteor shower, but I remember like whoever did it, and then they fucking like threw their gates open, and we all just fucking swarmed over there and had so much fun checking that shit out.
I think Danny was first, but I know everybody came to my island at some point.
I was like, I know I went to Danny's island for sure.
But yeah, they just announced the February content drop for Animal Crossing today.
Don't care.
They're teasing that in March there's going to be some Mario.
Yeah, some kind of Mario thing going on, allegedly.
Wow.
They're bringing
they're making Mario a villager.
Pave's coming.
They're putting Mario in Smash.
Pave's coming.
For Festivale.
They're gonna make a rat that's colored like Mario, and you can get him to move in if you have his amiibo.
He's got a cranky personality type. Man, I would fucking like. I understand like logistically why they couldn't do this, but I would absolutely buy amiibo of my favorite villagers. I don't want the fucking cards. I want a full ass fucking Benedict statue
Mm-hmm.
that I can slam down in fucking amiibo festival.
Slam down and lift up.
Slam it
Jason,
and jam it. Yeah, that's,
what is your
that's my number 4.
number 4?
My number 4 is a game that I'm very confident will get talked about again, and it is Hades. That is a game I didn't really expect to like. I heard about it for a couple months pretty consistently, and I would like look at videos, and I really didn't think it was for me. But it got towards the end of the year, and I hadn't played a lot of new shit, and it's not very expensive. But I picked it up and kind of got hooked. I still haven't beaten it, but I still I still pick it up and play it. I played a run of it 2 days ago, and it's kind of one that I have to like force myself to not say I'm just gonna do one quick run.
No such
Cause
thing.
like I think yesterday I turned the Switch on to play Undertale and saw that Hades was right there. I was like, I just unlocked the different shield variant. I haven't tried it yet. I can hop in and do one quick run that I really know is going to be at least 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I forced myself not to. But like that's a Switch game that I think it'll stay installed forever, and I think I'll always be willing to hop in and play it randomly, even like years from now. Kind of how I am with Ape Out. Like I boot up Ape Out regularly still to just like play for 30 minutes.
Yeah, like whenever
Like
nuclear runs on my
Hades-
home
Hades-
screen and like I see that icon, I always just hop in and just I'll just fucking bang
Yeah,
out one really
Bang
quick.
out the daily.
Yep. I think Hades just like kind of has that same vibe. I wish the runs could be a little shorter because I can't always commit to playing 30 straight minutes of it, but that's the only complaint that's not really a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that though. As someone who plays a fuck ton of roguelikes, I think the sweet spot is a full run of one should take 15 minutes roughly.
Yeah, but then you have to deal with like it's kind of an issue I ran into with Nuclear Throne is like to have it short like that means you have to get harder faster or be harder. And
I think I'd be happy if Hades like a full run to the finish was like maybe 20-25 because like I've never even finished it, so I don't even know how long that'll take me.
My balls to the wall fastest fucking run is 22 minutes, but that was like me fucking slamming and lifting through those fucking layers. Like my average runs are closer to the 30 range. Like it's
I think that my longest run, I think I got like halfway through the like last chunk.
Still butt mad that the game crashed for me when I was going through one of the last doors on sticks.
You got Vlamboozled, baby.
You did get Bamboozled.
I haven't played it
Get
since.
fucked on. Quitter.
That's unfortunate. I've never had it crash. Oh, are you playing on PC?
Yeah.
Bummer.
That's weird. I would expect that to be. I've never had it fuck up on me on Switch at least. But Hunter, what is your number 4? Is it a game that crashes on you?
It's crashed for
Well, it's Hades, so
it is Doom Eternal.
Wow.
Doom Eternal. I finished this one.
I finished the last one too.
I
It's only
hate
3
you.
levels
Hunter
long.
played it. It's so good.
I played it. There's one level after Foundry, and then it just ends. But yeah, this one's fun. We've talked about it a lot already.
Did you like 100% it? Like get all the side shit?
Yeah. I just wish the levels were longer, you know?
I don't blame you.
I'd have to hear with you. Well, I guess we're getting into the top 3 then. Ryan, what is your number 3?
Number 3. So with both this game and Tony Hawk, I really feel like games were catering a lot to me this year. It really felt like a year of PS1 games, things like that, which was my first console. So despite it being a new game, I feel a lot of nostalgia for Crash 4. Like, I feel like it captures a lot of the stuff I liked in the original Crash games. It's cool that style still works out. That kind of, like, it's a 3D platformer, but with, like, it's a corridor platformer. It's a 3D platformer with 2D platformer vibes. I don't know what Crash is, but I really like it. It feels like an older game, looks like a newer game, still plays really well. It's really hard and I'm bad at it, but I don't know. I just like being there. I think it's a really, really fun game that I highly recommend to people.
Like, I'm incredibly surprised at how much they, I mean, much like, I mean, they aren't who remastered those 3 games, but it is like, this is a remaster of Crash 4 for the PS1. Where it's like this, it feels like they never stopped, I guess, or it feels like a natural extension of those games in a way that I'm just surprised they were able to emulate the feel of those as well as they did.
Yeah, or of even just like the vibes of old games, like
yeah,
everything
like the
about
level
this just
designs and
screams-
sensibilities and everything. Like,
yeah,
it
it just screams like this is a PS2 game. Like the mask system feels very old
Yeah.
school. The way stuff branches off feels old school. Boss battles feel old school. Like it all feels old, but it's still, I mean, it's a new thing. It's all fresh. It doesn't feel like reused.
And I realize, like, and I admittedly, this is maybe not the thing to praise them for. Like, hey, you gotta hand it to them. But after they fucking butchered Crash Team Racing with microtransactions, I really expected this thing to just be fucking shoved full of them.
Oh yeah,
And
especially
they
with
did.
all the skins you could unlock and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was just, hey, it's the fucking game.
Here you go.
I really shouldn't, that shouldn't be something worthy of praise, but here we fucking are.
In this society.
That
We
game
live in
is
one.
hard as that game is motherfucking hard also
It's
in a
so
way
hard.
that I am shocked they went for, frankly.
Mhm.
That
I mean,
is like,
it really does feel like the older ones in that style. Like it really
Yeah.
feels like, I don't know. The old Crash games kick my ass still.
it's like they made it as though, like, okay, yeah, you just finished playing Crash Bandicoot 3. Here's the 4th one.
Hmm.
Like,
luck.
I admire their commitment to that, I guess. Like, I don't want that game to be easier. I'm glad they made what they made.
Mhm.
And
But
it just
kicks
surprises
my
me.
ass. It kicks the hell out of my
Like,
ass.
I was fighting trying to finish that game. Like, it gets wacko. God, like, ignoring, like, just getting a bunch of gems for it. Fuck no. I was aiming for completion by the end of it.
They might have gone a little overboard with the amount of like collectible stuff you can do. Like it's cool that there's a lot of content, but at the end of the day, I think there's like 474 gems to collect.
And you get like nothing for it, basically, which is kind of like, I think that goes both ways of, like, on one hand, they're not really stopping me from accessing anything, but on the other hand, there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, you just want more skins.
Yeah, just more skins, I guess. And since they let you do like the inverted world, it's like it's not even super challenging to get enough gems to get the skin. So it's there for the people who want it, I guess. But that ain't me.
But yeah, Crash 4. It's about time. Is that the
It's about time.
subtitle, I think.
It is here on my list as the number 11 game. It was the first game to not make my top 10. My number 3 though is it's Risk of Rain 2. I fucking have been waiting for this game to release as Hunter has been playing it up until now and just kind of telling me shit about it. And I played a little bit of it while it was still in early access, and just enough to kind of be like, yeah, okay, I like this game. But I wanted to wait until it was done to get into it. It finally came out this year, and when it did, I unlocked everything on that PC version, and then you ended up getting it on Xbox.
Yep.
Which you don't have a PC that can run it. So I started.
My PC can barely run Zoom, as we saw our last session.
I then, because we share all of our Xbox games, I started playing on Xbox, and I unlocked everything on the Xbox version, got all the achievements in it, and then bought Hunter a copy of it so he could play on Xbox with us. And then he has begun migrating some of his stuff over there, re-unlocking all of it. It's not that big a hassle to unlock stuff because largely you just get stuff by playing the game. There's like maybe only like 1 or 2 things that are really kind of shitty to do. But if anything, it was an excuse for me to go and dump another 35 hours into Risk of Rain. And it's just fun. Like, it's one of those few games where I got to unlock everything else again. I didn't have to unlock everything else again.
Right.
And I just love it. It is so fun. I wish that you and the rest of the folk could up your game onto Hunter and I's dumbass level, because I don't think that we've cleared them. You haven't beaten it, right, Brian? We haven't managed to get a clear.
No, I think we looped, but we beat it before they added in that.
Because it came out on PC a little before it actually released on Xbox. And looping's way easier than beating the game.
The 1.0 came out like a month and a half later or whatever on console.
I didn't think Hunter and I were like that entrenched in it, but then like seeing like you and Jason and Zane kind of pick it up and just not know what the fuck is going on, really kind of cemented to me like, oh, we are much bigger psychopaths than I thought we were. Okay, I gotta
move on slower with this.
I gotta pull back here.
Why don't you already know what every item does? You've had this game for 10 minutes.
I don't even know what every item does.
Fucking casual.
There's still like half of the stuff where I'm like, Hunter, what's these anal beads? What's that do?
Nothing.
Here's a big eyeball. What's that one like?
Replaces your main attack.
Yeah, it's like Hunter. Like, I'm not even like close to the level that Hunter's on. But it's fun as hell. I eagerly anticipate more content coming out for it. But it is maybe not as accessible or as friendly as I would like it to be.
Right. I mean, most of our sessions on my end and with other people in the group who are new to it are just asking Dash or Hunter what certain items do, and then Dash or Hunter explaining the meta of that specific item while I'm trying to listen to the music.
Like I need to just
item do?
I just need to do a flow chart of just like pick it up or don't pick it up.
Yeah.
Like either give it to me or fuck off.
Give me the bungus.
Yeah, give me the bungus. But I think that even it's one of those games where even when I lose or if I don't make it, it's just fun to play, and that's cool. And I think that's a really tough thing for a lot of roguelikes to thread. And also, music in it's really good, but it's largely reused tracks from the first game, which is a bummer because I would have loved like a new set of Risk of Rain sound.
Too risky.
Too risky. Not enough rain. Risk of Purple Rain.
Good one, Matt.
Okay.
My number 3 is Astro's Playroom. It was a great game. It was a great showcase for the DualSense, and I had a ton of fun going through and getting the platinum on it in a day.
Do you think, is it your favorite DualSense game?
You froze in the middle of that.
Oh, am I back? Am I back?
You're good.
Okay. You didn't freeze for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it your favorite DualSense game?
Yeah.
I think easily. At this point,
I like it in Borderlands. But I like the way that Astrobot uses it to the fullest, which obviously,
and I mean, ultimately, it's a tech demo for the controller, so I mean, that's what you expect.
The whole point. But it seems like most of the other things that use it don't. It's either just the triggers, or it's like Spider-Man, where they claim that it has like special vibration, but it just feels like it just.
The web swinging slightly different. I swear to God.
I don't believe you, but
it's tiny.
I had to turn it off because it was fucking with me.
See, it didn't bother me because I had never played Spider-Man before until the PS5, and I didn't know. Like, I heard people complaining that like their finger hurt from swinging.
Oh, that's stupid.
And I never even noticed it. I didn't notice it until I like finally in the second Spider-Man playing back to back, I finally like went and turned it off to see if I had it on previously, because I didn't even realize anything was there. But then it felt like I was pulling nothing, and I turned it back on because I preferred it at that point.
And see, I don't think it's necessarily like a better or worse thing. It's I spent 30 hours doing it this way, and now it is slightly different, and it's fucking with me.
Yeah, like I only knew it with it, so. But I think at this point, I mean, of the few games I've played, the Astrobot is by far the best use of the controller, because I don't think many games have probably used it a ton.
I really
There's
like
not a
Borderlands.
lot.
I
I
really
think
like
I feel like
Borderlands.
over the next couple of years it'll probably change a lot.
Deathloop looks wild as fuck with like the gun jamming and shit.
Yeah.
Like that's kind
Or,
of the
like-
one I'm really want to
like-
fuck with.
Gotta
Like
smack
Call
your
of-
controller to clear the bullets out.
Like Call of Duty, I immediately turned it off because it was annoying.
You
Makes
gotta
it hard to
shout
play.
into the
It makes
controller.
it makes it
Unjam.
harder. It makes it harder to like aim down the sights. It like delays you
Jareth.
a tiny bit and seems pointless. So I just turned it off.
Yeah, like I feel like it actively makes multiplayer harder.
Yeah, like I
Unless it's
immediately felt it.
Borderlands.
They got to start making DualSense lobbies.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep everybody on an even playing field.
Yeah, the tech demo for
yeah.
the DualSense, pretty good.
Pretty fucking it.
Number
As you
one
said, it's a
tech
great
demo of the
$500
game.
game,
Worth every penny.
worth every cent. Jason,
Jason, what
What
did
is
you
your
spend
number 3
$500
DualSense
on?
controller?
Oh, my number 3 is Spider-Man Miles Morales. That game, like I mean, I bought the PS5 and that was the first game I bought. I played the first Spider-Man and Miles Morales back to back, like literally like finished the first one and then started the second one the next day, or maybe even the same day. I'm not sure. But that game, I wish it was like 5 to maybe even 10 hours longer, because it was maybe 8-ish.
Yeah,
which felt like I get that it wasn't a full game technically, sort of like it was a standalone title, but like it wasn't a $60 game,
No.
which I get, but it felt like there was plenty of character and like content that could have existed to have just made that a $60 15 to 20 hour game easily.
Yeah, like my biggest complaint of it is I want more. Like
I felt like the skill trees filled out way too fast compared to the first one, which is my only complaint, but it's because it's a shorter game.
Did you get the DLC with or like the pre-order bonus?
Oh, I don't know.
Fucking the pre-order bonus that comes in, or like the
I
the
don't think I
launch
did.
edition shit, it lets you unlock some shit early. But one of the things that it gives you is it gives you 3 extra skill points. So when you max out your shit, you end up with 3 floating skill points that you can't fucking spend on anything.
Yeah,
It drives me
sucks.
up the fucking wall. I wish I'd never redeemed that shit. But yeah, like I
Gift them to your friends.
I did 2 playthroughs of Miles Morales back to back to get the platinum trophy in it, and
Same.
I like that it is a quick, easy breezy get in, get out. But in this, I thought it was so good that I just want more of it.
Insomniac's good at making half games.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was the same as the first one where the game ended kind of out of nowhere. I was a little more prepared for it. On
yeah. This one,
Miles,
it
because,
just kind of like, hey, you're not gonna be able to go back after this.
yeah, because in the first one I was like 65% through the game when I got that notification, so I expected it on Miles to not be as long as I was thinking it would be, and also like Matt had just beat it like right before I started it, I think.
Yeah.
So I knew ahead of time that it was going to end pretty abruptly.
It
I don't know.
definitely did.
That's what both of them did. And it didn't bother me. I was just taken off guard by it because I was like, oh, I'm 65% through the game. I have 5-6 hours left. And then it just was like, oh no, this is your last mission.
First one
I
has
will
too
say,
much
like Red
shit.
Dead.
Miles doesn't have enough.
I will say that one definitely ended better than the first one. The actual like combat at the end was better than the first one.
Oh, the
boss
final
fight-
boss is
Oh,
so
it's
good.
so much fun.
Fuck.
the final boss in Peter Parker Spider-Man sucked.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah,
garbage.
It was completely like a joke. I may have been able to do it with one hand.
The suit you get for it sucks too.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Miles
I
Morales
cannot
is really
believe
good.
that the Finn fight is as fun as it is.
Yeah, but yeah, Miles Morales is really, really good, and I hope we get another game where he's the main character.
Yeah, Peter can
I just
fucking
want some
blow me.
fucking
I want
DLC
Miles
for it.
forever.
And like
There's
I
no
like-
way they do
I,
DLC for it.
I liked Peter, and I'll play another one. But if they make another Peter and then another Miles, I'll play them both happily. Like that. I mean, Spider-Man was like my biggest. I wish I could play that game of not having a PS4.
I'm glad it
like, by
met
far.
your expectations.
Oh, it was great. I mean, I saw like enough of it to be like, I'm gonna swing from webs and be Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man, so
Fuck yeah,
it was
brother.
it was very very, very up to the level that I expected it to be. And
All
Miles
Jack
Morales
needs
was
for
really,
a
really good.
Spider-Man game is swinging webs and being Spider-Man.
That's it. That's all I
true.
need.
And Tim's.
And I don't like. And
Dead
I want to
ass.
actually.
Bonus.
And I actually want to be able to like run around on the ground outside of buildings and not just have it be like white mist.
I never want to be on the ground, but I'm so
loved
glad I
that
can
in
be on the
in the
ground.
PlayStation 1 Spider-Man.
Well, and also the PlayStation 1 Spider-Man is the only other Spider-Man game I've ever played.
See, I've never played Spider-Man 2, the movie, the game, despite all of the acclaim for it. I've just never played it. I know it's like one of the best licensed games of all time, but it has escaped me.
You know, Miles Morales is good shit, and I would love to play more with that character, like a lot. And I might replay that game too.
Shattered Dimensions is pretty good.
Shattered Dimensions is also really good. I'm not sure if they do another Peter game, I want to know like mechanically
Better.
what they give him to replace the Venom powers. Because I don't ever want to play one of
Without
these ever.
Venom, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't
Sandman
want to play one
powers.
of these ever
gun.
again without Venom powers.
Well, I don't even like. I don't know how they do a new one, just because like, are they gonna have you start a new story with the same Peter and have to fill out all the skill trees from like the base again? That just seems like it'd be weird.
Yeah, see what's going to happen is Peter's going to be investigating a space station.
I was gonna make the
And
same joke. You fuck.
As he's getting,
Give him a
he fights
ditty.
a parasite queen, and it starts blowing up, and then he gets blown into an elevator, and all of his power upgrades fall down the vents, and then you find them over the course of exploring Talon 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian,
Hunter, what's your
two?
number?
Oh wait, no, shit, we
No.
forgot Hunter. What's your number 3?
No, Hunter skipped himself with that little bit he just pulled.
Yeah,
Look,
Hunter, that
what's
bit
your-
that you made.
Hunter, what's your favorite license game of this year?
My favorite licensed game of the year is Hades, because they licensed
Using the Greek mythos
gods.
license.
It's the Percy Jackson license.
It's the
Hell yeah,
American
dog.
Gods license. Because Hades is real fun. I've played 2 Supergiant games now, and they've both been good. I like the music. Gun is fun. Just the
Yo,
fact,
what if he had a fucking gun though?
just the fact that it's a game set in ancient Greece and you have a gun, and it's not Darkest of Days.
Oh, it should be.
What else is?
God, what if Darkest Days was good? That's a whole other show, but man, that would be so cool.
Oh, you wearing that Ganon shirt?
Yeah.
Oh man,
See?
Kitty.
I got fat and mine doesn't fit me
kitty.
anymore. And I'm sad.
Jason, get your finger out of there.
This one's stretchy because it's like baseball shirt material.
Kitty
Which means
sitting
it's
on
also
my
really
magic.
thin, so I have to wear an undershirt or you can see my nipples through it.
Ryan, number
Yeah.
2. You've got 2 nipples. What's your number 2 game of the year?
Oh, that was a good segue.
My nipples.
So similar to Dash with his Assassin's Creed thing, but more so with like Red Dead. I wanted a Red Dead game that played in Japan or somewhere older like that. But I couldn't have that, so I played Hades instead. They don't have a PlayStation.
Pretty much the same thing, really.
Yeah, but Hades, really cool. I think it's my favorite roguelike of this year. It's my number 2. It's just cool. I think it's a really accessible one of those things, which I feel like is a genre that needs more accessibility, more story. I think it kind of fills in a lot of my complaints with a lot of roguelike stuff. Characters are well written, story's really cool. There's a lot of variety, whereas like I feel like a lot of those games are like, hey, get good at this over anything else. I feel like this, it has so many different play styles you can do in it that like you can do different things and find what works for you to get through the game. It looks pretty, has good music, has a lot of stuff, and I like all of it.
Has a fucking gun.
It has a gun.
Has an assault rifle that shoots grenades.
It's
Which I haven't unlocked yet.
Exagriff, the adamant rail.
God, it like that's the lamest shit, but it's so cool. So my number 2 is a game that I had an incredible amount of anticipation for, and it absolutely met every single piece of it.
Cybergunk.
Yeah, the Cybergunk, Cyber the Gunk, for
And then a
2016.
Cyber
No,
like
that's a
dog.
2021 game, dumbass.
That's fucking inadvertently the most savage thing to say about that game. My number 2 is Astro's Playroom. There is a particular type of design, I don't know if you'd call it that, where it is make a thing look like company's old thing, like
Called fan
those.
service.
Yeah, but I mean, it's specifically the thing of like, here is this Nintendo DS that looks like a Super Nintendo,
Here's the 90s
or
logo.
shit like that. There were the fucking PS4 controllers look like PS1 controllers, and it's like a particular like brand of nostalgia and like self-reference that I feel like Nintendo has more or less had a monopoly on for all of video games. Like PlayStation's kind of tried to get in on that with something like All Stars, and that's like maybe one of the main ones that I feel like they've tried. But the things that Astrobot does that are the send up to PlayStation, clearly by people who it's that reverence for the material that the creator of the material could never have for their own thing, that Mario Odyssey hit a lot of. But going through and playing Astrobot and seeing all of the little things like the UMD boogie boards, the PS3 tech demo rubber ducks, the tight ropes being PS1 controller cords, going through and seeing all of the different like little Astrobot scenes that they set up, like as a send up to the PlayStation, the final boss being the fucking dinosaur tech demo from the PS1. And then
Spoilers.
as you're going through, like unlocking the high res models of all of this fucking PlayStation shit, where I can immediately identify all of it, where it's just like, oh, here's the fucking PS2 Ethernet adapter, or here are Move controllers, or here's a really high res like PS1 memory card. And being able to go into the fucking labo room and see all of the little things, like see the little Astrobots like doing fucking VR shit, and then if you pay enough attention to it, you see that he's playing Beat Saber. Like there's definitely a lot of like in your face referencing that it does, but a lot of it is that t-shirt design style that I like, where they are making this for people who know, and if someone doesn't get it, they're totally cool with that. But the people who do get it, it's fucking amazing. I think that it's embodied most by the rotating PS2 logo that I know I've talked about on here already.
Mhm.
I talked about it.
It is on its own, it's a profoundly good demo of the DualSense controller. So it's like it achieves that goal. It is a super good 3D platformer, a genre which I kind of like a whole awful fucking lot, and I like that last Astrobot they made a whole awful lot. But then it is a genuinely emotionally resonant trip through the history of PlayStation that on more than one occasion in that labo room, I felt myself kind of like welling up a little bit, and just like seeing the murals and seeing everything. It was this kind of nostalgia that only Nintendo normally deals in and normally does well. And I can't think of a single thing that I felt like it missed. Like they get out there with a lot of the games that they have represented. The one I guess I never saw was Legend of the Dragoon. And I felt like that was the kind of the level of reference they were going for. But every single time I like got into some corner of the world and it's like, oh, here's a coffin and then a fucking Alucard rises out of it. Or, you know, here's Maiden in Black over here off in this corner. It was
Did
so...
they reference Connecticut?
I don't think they did Connecticut, but they did Wipeout. They also didn't do Polygon Head, which I was kind of surprised at, but whatever. And then the end of every level being a different PlayStation console. Like a specific, like the Cooling Springs one was the main one that stood out to me, where you get on top of this, like you fucking trampoline up to the top of this mountain, and then you hit there, you like look up, and then it starts to do like that PS3 opening, like that orchestral kind of sting, and then you see the PS3 like menu background loading up in front of you. It was just profoundly cool. And I think that they absolutely could have blown the whole thing and made it something shitty like PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, but they fucking nailed it. And I genuinely don't know if they could do another one of these without it seeming derivative and shitty.
Well, don't worry.
I don't, because
No, they
I don't know what they could do, because are they gonna on the PS6 have one where you go through all of the previous 5 again?
And see, that's
No,
like,
you
I
go
don't.
through Nintendo consoles.
I think
I'm
that's
just
something.
waiting. I'm waiting for the next Xbox to try and do something to make people nostalgic for the original shitty Xbox.
And
It's only 2 levels. It's a Halo level and a Gears of War level.
Hey,
And, like,
there could be a
Adam.
Fable reference.
I don't think
Crimson
Microsoft
Wings.
could do it. Like, frankly, I don't think Microsoft has that like level of nostalgia. And this is someone
No.
who, I mean, I did
Guys,
my
welcome
Xbox
to the
and stuff.
Blinks the Time Cat level.
Here's the
always,
Voodoo Vince
like,
level.
Since Xbox 360, I've been hardcore Microsoft, like, on everything I buy, and I still have more nostalgia for the PS1 and PS2 than my original Xbox that I had that broke and like got like the original Red Ring of Death. I just don't
But-
think Microsoft has. I don't think anybody could possibly have that for any Microsoft system unless they just
No.
really love Halo.
And
No,
but I
they
mean,
could
and
I
that's the thing.
really
At that
love
point, you're
Halo.
just
Windows
fucking
stuff.
playing. Like at that point, the Forza like Halo thing is sufficient. Like I
Mhm.
think that Microsoft can get away with one-offs, but they couldn't get away with a whole game like this. And the original Astrobot game isn't anything like this. Like it doesn't have that like that just general PlayStation reference. It's just a 3D platformer in VR.
Well, wasn't the original Astrobot?
Oh,
thing
yeah,
like
it's
a
like the-
PS4 or
Like
PS3.
the PS Home camera thing
Yeah.
with where Ice-T kicked a robot.
Yeah. Was it like a
Yeah.
move thing?
Something
was that
like
what it
that.
was? I can't remember
I
exactly.
mean, the Astrobot VR rescue.
Yeah.
That's what I'm referring to. But yeah, I cannot believe that they nailed it as well as they did, and genuinely going through all of it as someone who has had a PS1, PS2, PS3, all of them, who is committed to the history of the PlayStation. I would not have thought they could have pulled it off, and they somehow did. And as a free pack-in game, unbelievable. It is my favorite PS5 game, bar none.
That's why they're going to do another one. It's sold like gangbusters.
Yeah, there you go. 100% attach rate, baby. We're going to get Astrobot's Playroom Resort, and it's going to have fucking
Ooh.
swords in it.
Please.
Matt, what's your number 2?
Yeah, what's your number 2?
My number 2 was Tony Hawk.
Which
One or
one?
two?
Hawk 1 plus number 2.
1 plus number 2.
I'll say all that Ryan
Um,
stuff.
It was a good game, and they polished up a lot, and it had all the music in there. The music's really good, and it's the best Tony Hawk game.
Yo, they
said.
put
And that's my number
fucking-
6.
They put Jack Black as Officer Dick.
They did put
That
Jack
rules.
Black as Officer Dick. So I think aside from Animal Crossing, my top 2 are the games that I spent the most time with, by far.
Mhm.
And I put quite a bit of time into Tony Hawk.
I'd like to put more time into it.
Well, nothing is stopping you.
A lot of things are. Other games.
Well, Yeah, well, I mean, that
No
sounds like your
motivation.
problem, not mine. But yeah, it's a good game. Like Ryan said, it's got great music.
Continues to still be great music.
I almost wish
Still
that
good
you and I
music.
hadn't played through Pro Skater 2 so quickly before that came out, because I kind of
It
just
took
went
away
in
a lot
and
of the mystery.
I just banged out that fucking game in like an hour.
Yeah. I mean, fuck Philadelphia, but
Yeah, fuck that map.
Yeah. Ugh.
yeah, still great game, great remaster. Would play it through again.
Yeah, I am sure that I will get an itch and want to go back to that, but let me give you $20 to put in Pro Skater 3 and give me Bam Margera, modern Bam Margera.
Give me Thug.
All
I'll
of
that's
those.
fuck it. I'll
what
play
I
Thug.
want.
I'll fucking play Thug.
That's all I want. All I want is
Give me a
to see
lovingly
Eric Sparrow's
rendered
dumbass face.
HDR lighting Eric Sparrow.
No, it's only going to be
Eric
played by
Sparrow
Jack
and Mike
Black.
Vallely. Yes, exactly. Mocapped by him too.
I'd take American
Um,
Wasteland also.
I'd be okay with
I
that.
never
That's
played
probably the
American
last-
Wasteland.
Jam.
Oh, it's really good. That's probably the last.
heard that.
one.
Fuck Downhill Jam.
American Wasteland is probably like the end of what I would say are the good, like, fun Tony Hawk's before they tried to get all realistic feeling.
I didn't hate Project 8.
I played Proven
But it
Ground
wasn't
and Project
great.
8, but it just didn't grip me the same way.
One of our bosses at GameStop absolutely believed in his heart of hearts it was called Proving Ground, and
Why?
would not listen to anyone tell him otherwise.
Why did they think that?
Was that bad, Matt?
No, it was Tim.
Oh. I mean,
If
I
you
forgot
wanna,
about the proving ground thing.
if you
It's
want
not a
to,
word.
if you want to hear a write up about Tony Hawk, read my blog, please. Please.
That's
It
just
also has
blog.
food
What a nerd.
recipes.
Yeah.
Just like my general thoughts on the
Pictures
world.
of cats.
It's a lot of pictures of cats. But Jason,
yeah,
what is
Tony
your
Hawk,
what
good
is
game.
your number 1+1 game?
My number 1+1 equals 2 game is, so this game, if it came out any other year, I think it would still be in my top, but it would not be this high. But Animal Crossing, like that game, I mean that game was really enjoyable, but the biggest
Great
thing
unifier.
is like for the rest of my life I think will remember what that game was to like everybody in the like world. And I think that makes it worth so much more to me. And like, it was just, I mean, it was a shitty time that, I mean, at this point we're all kind of used to, and I don't even notice it really anymore. But like, it came out exactly when everything went to shit. We all were
like Nintendo planned it.
Yeah, we all were staying home doing pretty much nothing. So we were playing way too much Animal Crossing way too fast. And like all 10 of us got it and we're talking about it. So it's just, I don't know, that 6-ish weeks will make that game worth so much more than what it is just as like a standalone video game, like in a vacuum. I think Animal Crossings are always going to be fun. I'll always buy them. And like, I still think that game would have fallen in my top 5 for sure, top 10, but I rated it so high just because of kind of what it ended up being for everybody, just kind of as a cultural thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if there was an objective game of 2020, it would be Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
And I say that as someone who did not have it in his top 10, but I think that game is just emblematic of this year. Like, it is the iconic game of this year. And yeah, it is.
Yeah, like I was playing it every morning before work. I was playing it on my lunch breaks. I was playing it right after work to check in on things. Like,
I was playing it while I told my bosses I was working. I was playing it while I was in meetings. I was playing it while I was playing Animal Crossing in real life and fixing up a house.
Name another
good
game
one.
with an official Joe Biden island.
Name one other motherfucking Ghost of Tsushima. Where's your Joe Biden island, motherfucker?
Joe Byland.
They call him.
and just being able to fish with my boys and watch shooting stars and just do dumb shit and like sneeze on each other. It was just good times.
Keep your COVID away from me, Jason.
I got to
Makes me-
make my like work Letterman jacket in that game, and I put it in my shop, and then my other villagers joined my crew, and we were a fucking squad.
Just a
And it was
biker gang
awesome.
rolling around.
There were at
Brave-
least 2 Juicies in my island and 1 Zane's before I stopped.
Like I love all of my villagers so much. Like I definitely have my favorites, but just even though they have like a lot of repeat phrasing, like it's a lot of that like headcanon island where it's the way that I, that kind of dollhouse of this is the way I think that they interact when I'm not there, and I fucking love them. Benedict once, he was sitting on a fucking bench, and I talked to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey, why don't you sit down with me?" And I go to sit down, and then immediately he jumps up, and then Naruto runs away, and I fucking love that motherfucker. Beautiful bastard. I like all my little turtles that they're just sitting on my beach around my sandcastle. Great game. Wish it had a little bit more content in it.
I like titles.
Same.
Well, don't worry. There's a Mario
them
thing
turds.
coming up. Word
Ooh.
on the street is
My number 2 is Risk of Rain 2.
That actually really
Ooh.
surprises me. I thought it was going to be your number 1.
Nah, bitch.
no, he's got weeb shit to talk
Nah,
about.
bitch, he tells me.
I mean, we've talked
Um,
about this a lot. I
don't
played
know.
it for
It would be over in the trays, maybe.
120-ish
Oh, that's
hours
fine.
as it was coming out. And every time they'd update it, I'd be like, "Hey Dash, this is what they changed." I'd be like, "Cool, is it done
I'd be
yet?"
like, fuck off. Does it have an ending?
It's like, "No, but this is what they did." It's
Don't
like,
give a
"Well, tell me when
fuck.
it's done."
So did they finish it?
Eventually,
Eventually.
I liked seeing the changes. How blazing enemies were the most difficult at one point, and then they added the ones that have a shit ton of health and make it so you can't heal, and then those were the big assholes.
I think the final boss is cool as fuck for what that game is.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think that's
one
such
day
a
when we're playing it together, I'll live through the whole thing.
yeah, one of these days. Hunter has never beaten that game. I've beaten it for him and carried his ass.
I've beaten that game solo, but anytime I've played it with Dash, I've
Okay.
died on the way
He
out.
says he's beating it
Prove
solo,
it.
but I've never fucking seen it.
Yeah, it was solo. Oh, hi, kitty.
Yeah, Risk of Rain 2, fucking good game. Ryan, it's time.
Forward.
What is your number 1?
Bringing it in, the final stretch. So I didn't really have a whole lot of time for games this year. Looking over my list of stuff, my short list of stuff I played, I only finished 3 games. One
We used to
was
have the clause where you had to finish games to count them on the list.
I can't.
For those good old
God,
days,
no.
2015.
Oof.
That'd be
Yeah.
impossible.
Back when we had more time to, and I finished a lot back then too. We filled out full lists
I
with
finish
games
every
that we
day.
finished. Yeah. So of the 3 I played, one was fine, one was pretty good but didn't make my list, and then there was this one. Dash had previously described the first game in the series as being scrappy, and I think this one, the sequel, just has that ball swinging confidence that I really enjoyed, and that was Doom Eternal.
Oh, yeah.
It is just a really, really fun first-person shooter. I didn't mind a lot of the complaints that you guys had. I didn't mind that the levels were so long. It's funny to make fun of it because these levels are fucking long, but I enjoyed it. It gave you a lot of time to be immersed in stuff. It was hard, but I don't know. I got through it, so it couldn't have been that hard.
Yeah, so I don't think that game's that hard.
Yeah, I do, but I got through it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I really feel like they expanded the what Doom 1 did in ways that was enjoyable and felt like it made sense. And you're mentioning with like Astro's Playroom being like having a reverence for the old stuff. And I feel like this game really looked at Doom 2, the original Doom 2, and was like, how much of that stuff can we bring over into this game and iterate on? So it feels a lot like Doom 2, whereas Doom 2016 felt like Doom 1. This feels like Doom 2, and I feel like
It's Doom 2 too.
it's Doom 2 too. Yeah.
What if Doom Guy was a ballerina?
So I don't know. I feel like for all that stuff, it stands up. It being the only game I finished that I really liked, but the fact that I was able to finish it with all that stuff, not really having a lot of time, I think really shows how much I liked the game.
They put a motherfucking grappling hook on the super shotgun.
Yeah. I mean, look back at soundtrack and tool and moments and sequence, like a lot of that stuff that I liked from this game pops up in our earlier discussions, but I really feel like they expanded on the tool set and the movement stuff that you can do from the first one in this one. They added all the stuff they added feels like stuff I used and stuff that was necessary. Good ass game.
Doom Eternal is a very good game.
Terrified to play.
In a weaker year, I think it could have charted higher than 10 for me, but it is still very good and very recommendable, very playable, and it's on fucking Game Pass. So you can just play that shit for free, baby.
You have no excuse, Jason.
I will get to
I
that DLC
also own it on
eventually.
physical.
Dash, what is your number one?
I wonder.
What is your Doom 2 of 2020?
I don't know, Jason. What is my number one?
Immortals,
Tony
Phoenix
Hawk.
Rising.
It is Immortals Phoenix Rising. I think the Breath of the Wild likes are an interesting thing that are
No,
going to be
skip it.
coming
I'm
into.
hungry.
Okay, it's Hades. It's fucking Hades. I love roguelikes. I would definitely say that I am the token roguelike person within our group. Like I know
For
that
sure.
like Hunter likes Risk of Rain, Matt likes Nuclear Throne, but like I am a junkie for this shit. And while I stand by my complaint that I think Hades is one of the easier roguelikes, I think that's a good thing. I This is a notoriously difficult to get into genre. And before this, I would say that maybe Rogue Legacy was the easiest one to get into, but even that's not a pushover. But Hades having the narrative focus that no other roguelike has really had before, being if I was to like look at this from like an old school like visuals, music, everything ranking list, this game would probably score like a perfect 10 out of 10 in that regards, because I think that like every component of it individually is done flawlessly. The gameplay is amazing, the visuals are amazing, the music is amazing, the writing is amazing, all of it. And then they took all of these amazing things, smashed them together, and then it creates a finished product that's fucking amazing. I have only enjoyed one Supergiant game prior to this, and that's Bastion. And that's stuff that you and Sean were saying the other day about how like Bastion outside of the vacuum of when it was released, maybe not that good. And I've been thinking about that a lot. I definitely think you're right, but I think that Hades surpasses it regardless.
Mhm.
Being a roguelike, I was very kind of hesitant to recommend it to people just because, again, I'll recommend people roguelikes all day long, but most people bounce off of most of them because they're usually just balls crushingly difficult. Um, but Hades being as accessible as it is, and it's at this point after seeing all like other four of you like it at this point, I feel very confident in recommending it to people. I think that the easy mode in it is really, really, really well done of giving you the 25% health boost, and then every time you die with it on, it gives you an extra 1%. Or maybe it's a damage reduction, but regardless, it's like it makes it a little bit easier and then doesn't just completely make the game a pushover. But
Mhm.
it if you are interested in that story and the writing, which is again fucking phenomenal, it gives you an opportunity to get through that and get better at it. Why I think that the weapon choices and the different boons and the different like trinkets that you can carry into things give a whole lot of variety on builds. Like hearing you guys talk about the different things that you like in it being completely different than the way I like to play the game was super duper cool to me. Like I think that that is the way a healthy game should be. Um, like I like Zeus shield, Zeus boons with Athena boons, and just have a lot of like protection and lightning attacks. But like you, Ryan, it's like you like the Ares boons a lot. Like I can't fucking stand Doom.
I love Doom.
Yeah, like I hate
like
Doom.
I like Doom. I like
Just too short.
I like I like putting stuff on like my dodge that leaves like a pool of doom behind,
Yeah.
just because that's where stuff's going
Yeah.
anyway. So it lets me kind of recover from dodging to
Like
get back at them.
I liked the Hangover stuff at first, but kind of fell off of it once I found Doom, because Doom was just like the way better version.
See, I just can't fuck with Doom at all. Like I can't fuck with Doom. I can't fuck with Dionysus. I can't fuck with Aphrodite. I can't fuck with Demeter.
I just I like the delayed damage. Like I can throw my shield and hit like 3 dudes and then go look at other stuff because I know they're about to die.
Mhm.
Like I've beaten with every weapon at this point, and genuinely like once you start getting in like seeing all the different things the hammers can do for every single weapon, seeing all the different like variants on the weapons, there's so much. And even though it is a roguelike and the stuff's randomly generated, you can influence a lot of that shit. Like
which I think is really cool.
I can very consistently get the loadout I want to have to beat it. And then when you beat the game, this isn't a spoiler because it's a mechanical thing, but when you go back to play it, they give you this huge list of like modifiers you can put on to make it harder. But the first time you'll be like, okay, I'm going to turn on one of these, and then that unlocks Heat 1. So to go through, you can get all of the rewards that you get for beating the bosses, the Titan's Blood, the Ambrosia, the gems, etc. Then when you beat that, okay, you now need to turn on another one of these until eventually you just get to a super high heat. But that is then broken down for each weapon. So it's like I can do shield Heat 6, but I can only do spear like Heat 2. And I think it's a super good way of ramping up the difficulty. The secret boss in it is really, really fun, and I'm still pretty sure there's some secrets I haven't found in it. I have actively kind of tried to avoid gathering a bunch of information on it. But it's just fucking terrific. And being an accessible roguelike is something the genre severely needs, because I could totally see someone getting into this and going like, well, maybe now I do want to try Nuclear Throne, or maybe I do want to try Binding of Isaac or something like that.
Right.
Because even just getting in and like understanding the kind of headspace and the way you need to play those games, I think is really, really important. And in a year when they made Risk of Rain 2 and a sequel to motherfucking Spelunky, for this to be the best roguelike of the year, bar none, I think is incredible. And it only matters to one of the people in this chat, but you should play Hades.
Make me.
It's really good. I wish I had not beaten it as quickly as I did, but I have gotten the true ending. I've beaten it, I think, 11 or 12 times at this point, and it
was like 5 a few days ago.
What? No.
He's beat. Yeah, he's.
No, I hit
at a
true
time.
credits on that a long time ago, months ago.
Matt, what's your number one?
My number one was Spider-Man Miles Morales. I know that when I know that I absolutely gushed about it in the group chat. Exactly. While I was playing it, and as soon as I finished it, I know that I didn't shut the fuck up about it the whole time. But I thought the story was super well written. I actually enjoyed most of the characters, more or less. And I thought I know I talked about it kind of at length before, but the ending sequence, just like the last 10 minutes or so, just really fucking got me. I thought it was really good. And it introduced a minor character who was a lot of fun, and I would like to see more story with Miles and Haley.
I want to play more PS5 games, but I think I need a PS5 first.
Yeah, just ask Dash to get one for you.
I can hook you up, homie.
Get me one for free.
No.
But yeah, Miles Morales, really good game. I'm very glad that I got to play it at all, let alone on the new console. And I platinumed it. It's a great game.
Like, I haven't heard anything about how that PS4 version is, but like even without the technical bells and whistles, that's still a good game.
Right. I mean, if the PS4 could run it at like the PS5's like okay graphics version setting at 30, I think it would probably be fine. Like, it would be far from ideal.
Gotta swing slower.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. I would definitely play more of it. I mean, like Jason said, it ended super abruptly. But I was basically maxed out at that point. I didn't have any reason not to just go into it and finish it up. And then you get even more of a free roam of the city, which is kind of weird to say, but you do. And yeah, it's a great game. I'm sure I'll pick it up at some point, just swing around the city for an hour. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
What was your number one Spider-Man?
Hey, it's Ghost of Tsushima. It's Ghost of Tsushima, everyone.
I think it might be Hades.
To everyone's surprise, the game that showed up in all 7 of the categories that it could be in for me this year.
Route Zero.
It's my 2020 Control. It is, in fact, Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, what if Jin had the fucking service weapon, though?
That Jin had a gun.
No honor in the fucking service weapon.
I played the game correctly. So I don't know how somebody could not do any of the stealth stuff and still like the game as much as Dash did, but it is what it is. That game, I mean, music was good, setting was good, visuals were good, characters were good, story was important, combat was amazing. I just don't have complaints about it really. Like I played it at a very convenient time, and that I took a week off work for absolutely no reason other than I had days to take off. And I played that game for like 35 plus hours. So I just kind of replaced my entire work week with it. And I was totally okay with that. And I know it's a little divisive. Some people in this little chat do not like
The
that game
Division
at
2.
all.
We're getting there.
And one.
We're getting there.
But yeah, Dash talked about it enough earlier, and then I think no one else really has a positive opinion of it.
Connor, talk about Rune Factory 4.
How did you know?
Ryan was the only one I didn't have locked in.
It's really good. It's the first one that you can play as a man or a woman in it. So, you got something
Finally.
from the 80s, which are
That's honestly a huge surprise to me.
which is a horse boy and like a fox guy and a fuck ass dwarf
Hell yeah.
and a nerd.
The 4 genders.
Oh, and a child. But he's not a child. He just looks like a child.
Yeah, so you can still fuck him.
I learned recently that there's an easy way to make money really super fast because you can just boost someone's friendship with them, bring them on an adventure, get hurt once, and they'll try to throw you food. And one of the foods they throw you is one of the most expensive things in the game. So you can just dodge it and then pick it up off the ground and sell it for an obscene amount of cash.
Fucking loot cave in Rune Factory.
It's good shit. But yeah, I feel like I've talked about Rune Factory enough since I've tried to put it in as many categories
too.
as I could. I
Well,
know, because you're going to play it. I don't want to spoil anything for
I
you,
would
Matt.
consider
I surely
playing
am.
it. I actually am considering playing it, but I have the Rice game to check out.
That makes one of us.
Rice is
Um,
power.
Have you started the Rice game yet?
Not yet. It's sitting on my. I can see it. It's sitting on
You
top of my
coward.
soundbar right now. I've been playing
Play
Resident
it
Evil.
right now.
Yeah, you've been playing Resident Evil 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, don't
You
worry.
were
I'm done
looking
for a while
You were
now.
looking to do something until Control came out, and you've had the Rice game just sitting
Yeah,
there
I probably should
staring
just do
at
the
you.
Rice game.
You absolute fuckhead.
Rice is
Um,
power, Dash.
But that is
Dash's
going.
game of the year is popping into the group chat saying, "What should I play? I'm
Yeah.
bored. I don't know what to
Hey,
do."
it's a fucking
I
timeless
don't have
classic.
a Rice simulator.
But that's going to bring us to the end of the 2020 Game of the Year, which means it is time to crown the most divisive game of the year, which I feel like is Ghost of Tsushima. But if it's not that, it would be Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And if it's not that, it's definitely the Division 2.
Oh, it's a division.
I would definitely say Tsushima because more than 2 of us played that game.
See, that's kind of the thing. Is like you get there's a little
Like,
more actual
and
input
Hunter-
on it.
you and
But
Hunter
Hunter
have the exact
fucking
same.
hates Final Fantasy.
It's so bad.
You and Hunter have basically the same opinions about both games. So then you have me and Matt, who also played Ghost of Tsushima a little bit and have different opinions.
I
mean, I just couldn't get back into it.
Right, yeah. Yours is neutral to leaning, I guess, less than neutral, a slight amount.
Did almost
Yeah.
pay $30 to pick up Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 on the PS5 just as a fucking ringer for starting some shit. But I am fine with Ghost of Tsushima being the most divisive game of the year.
I think so.
Joining the hallowed ranks of games like Neko Atsume and Puyo Puyo Tetris 1.
Did we have one last year?
I
Yeah,
think we might
Division
have skipped it, but if you give me a moment, I can look at the list and probably figure it out.
Control.
Nah, because everyone loved Control.
Everyone loved Control. Danny didn't like us talking about it though, because
We all liked Goose Game. We all liked Control. No one else played Resident Evil. Everyone hates Kingdom Hearts 3 equally to me. Maybe Sekiro.
I didn't play it, so I don't
Maybe.
know. But that sounds logical.
I would put forward Sekiro or Mortal Kombat, as it was
More
my
than-
number 2, and you
more
all want to
than-
lynch me when I talk about it.
Did more than one person play Mortal Kombat?
Well, no, but
Danny
you all
didn't
are
even
really
watch.
sick of my shit.
Danny didn't even play it. He just watched some Twitch streamer.
Yeah,
play
but he was on my side about it. There was Auto Chess, Tetris 99.
Auto chess was fun.
I
It was
would
probably Sekiro then.
I would say
Yeah.
Sekiro probably,
A game I
was-
didn't play and missed out on.
because if I feel like you either liked that game a lot or
Or you
fucking
quit
hated
very
it.
early on.
Or you talk about how much you don't like it but played it a ton.
2018 has to be Red Dead 2, right?
Yeah.
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like because people weren't generally hating on Tetris Effect. I'd say it has to be Red Dead.
Make it shorter. Give me a 50-hour version. We'll play it tomorrow.
And
Same.
then 2017 is probably near, right?
You guys didn't play Near yet, though.
Yeah, but
Spirit.
retroactively.
Just looking.
But I
just
guess what I'm
looking
saying is
back,
we might actually have a.
that might be the most divisive of all time.
Yeah. Here, I'm booting up 2017 right
Yeah,
now.
because some people are right and
Cuphead
like it.
could be Cuphead.
Why would it be
was
No,
Cuphead?
2017 was Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Cuphead's not divisive.
Yeah, we all liked Cuphead. It's just Jason's really bad at video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy that game. I just hate it.
Just that easy baby game.
Yeah, it is. It was Puyo Puyo Tetris as well was in
Like
there.
I'll buy Cuphead too.
Nothing
I also-
like capping off the year 2020 and then talking about the year 2017.
I do have an honorable mention.
Yeah, you
here
know,
that
last
is
year.
Literally, I wrote the sentence: "Play an Inti creates Gunvolt game, you fuckers."
Nah.
And Sniper Elite 4 really figured out what it was doing.
I
And
thought they already knew what they were doing.
2017 Dash was not wrong. Sniper Elite 4 really did figure out what it was doing. But I'm going to go ahead and call it, and we will all depart to the 5 different continents, and then in 1 year we will reconvene at the tribunal to figure out the games of the year for 2021.
I did
Oh.
Antarctica.
Tell Big Video Game to release a new game for me to play.
No, they can't.
They're stock
Play
market's the game to
Undertale.
play right now.
They released Hitman, but secretly I'm not allowed to have it.
Has
Yeah.
there been any movement on that?
No, it still says delivery date pending.
Fucking
I got
wild.
cucked on the Pathless, and Jason got cucked on Hitman.
I mean, I could easily just
We're
cancel
living
my
in the
Amazon
future,
order
baby.
and go pick it up at Best Buy. I just don't care enough to do that. I might
you
do
maybe
that.
have 2 better Hitman games you could play.
I mean, yeah, but they didn't come out.
name
for
one.
Maybe we'll talk about it next December.
That's your teaser. That is your teaser.
Yeah, come back next year.
Yeah, Jason, play Blood Money.